The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Electra Forrester may find Dylan's lingerie and assume Will Spencer is cheating. Will a laundry mix-up be to blame and lead to a shocking outcome? In the January 21st episode, Dylan was doing laundry loads that included some of Will and Electra's clothing. Will was surprised to see their stuff mixed in and assured Dylan that she didn't have to do that. Of course, whenever a conversation like this happens, it's often a sign of trouble on soaps. The fact that B&B devoted airtime to a laundry-related conversation is suspicious and points to a potential plot twist. It may be significant that Dylan, Electra, and Will's laundry is apparently all jumbled up together. There's the potential for some confusion that could end in disaster for Will and Electra's relationship. It may be significant that Dylan, Electra, and Will's laundry is apparently all jumbled up together. There's the potential for some confusion that could end in disaster for Will and Electra's relationship. Concerns have already been raised over Dylan hanging out with Will alone at the beach house. Ivy Forrester found it inappropriate, so the writers may be trying to plant some seeds of distrust for Electra. Electra herself already warned Dylan that no one likes having a house guest for too long. Although Electra doesn't want Dylan living in her car, she's anxious to see her friend get a place of her own. However, Dylan is clearly falling for Will despite her promise to respect his relationship with Electra. Now B&B may be setting up a laundry fiasco that's going to leave Electra with major cheating suspicions. It's easy to imagine some of Dylan's lingerie ending up in the wrong place. It could be an innocent mistake if it accidentally gets lumped in with Electra's belongings, and Will drops it somewhere in his bedroom. Then again, the show just offered up a hint about Dylan's spicy side during her dinner with Will. Maybe that was a clue that Dylan's character is about to take a spicy turn as well. If that's the case, perhaps Dylan will get a little manipulative in the coming episodes. Dylan might plant the lingerie in Will's room herself in hopes of causing problems in his romance with Electra. Regardless, Electra might ultimately make a discovery that leaves her fuming. If Electra finds Dylan's lingerie where it isn't supposed to be, she may assume Will's cheating on her. Electra might hurl accusations at Will, but a better option might be if she goes running straight to RJ Forrester for comfort. This could lead to Electra kissing or hitting the sheets with RJ based on a misunderstanding. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers suggest bad news is brewing for Electra and Will's relationship no matter what, so stay tuned for updates on all the drama. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, January 22nd, reveal that Steffi Forrester Finnegan will blast matchmaker Hope Logan Spencer, while Electra Forrester deals with some Dylan alarm bells. First, on Thursday's B&B episode, Electra will open up to Will about some worries regarding his house guest. Although Electra wants to help Dylan, she's not thrilled about her friend staying alone with Will on the property. Ivy Forrester thinks it's inappropriate, so her speech at the office may have added to Electra's uneasiness. That said, Electra may hope this arrangement won't be for much longer, since Steffi mentioned a receptionist opening that Dylan might be able to slide into. Electra is eager for Dylan to find work and get her own place, so she'll keep telling herself the situation is only temporary. Will may assure Electra that she can trust him, but Electra will still find reasons to worry. Electra may get uncomfortable if she hears Will invited Dylan to have dinner with him while she worked late. Meanwhile, Steffi and Hope will get into an argument over what's best for Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. Hope feels like Deacon is a hostage in his own marriage, so she's been pushing him to follow his heart and tell Taylor exactly how he feels. Of course, Steffi has been growing increasingly fearful about the possibility of Deacon leaving Sheila Sharp and pursuing Taylor. When Steffi finds out that Hope's practically been playing matchmaker for Taylor and Deacon, she won't be pleased. Steffi will get all riled up as she insists Deacon and Taylor's connection is way too dangerous for them to surrender to. Although Steffi will think they have to shut this down before it's too late, they may already be past the point of no return. Will the recent Deacon and Taylor kiss fantasy turn into a real makeout session soon? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say everyone will work to keep Sheila out of the loop on Taylor and Deacon's true feelings in the meantime, but she's bound to get updates on that stunning news eventually. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Wednesday, January 21st, reveals that Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes had a kiss twist, while Dylan had a spicy evening with Will Spencer. At the beach house, Will gave Dylan the news that Electra Forrester had to work late and invited her to eat with him since there was too much food. Dylan was hesitant at first since she thought it'd be awkward, but Will convinced her it was fine. At one point, Will noticed some of his things as well as Electra's in Dylan's batch of laundry. Although Will insisted Dylan didn't have to do their load too, she was determined to repay them for all their kindness. Over dinner later, Dylan sampled Will's teriyaki chicken and gave it a thumbs up. Once Dylan admitted she liked a little spicy with her sweet, she doused her plate of food in hot sauce. Dylan wound up laughing with Will as she poured some on his plate too. There was also some talk about Katie Logan Spencer's Forrester departure and Will's meet cute with Electra. Will cracked a joke about Electra not missing his snoring, so Dylan chuckled over that. Later, Will fell asleep on the couch and indeed snored, so it was a little creepy as Dylan stood there watching and listening. In the Forrester design office, Ivy praised Electra and Will for what they were doing for Dylan, but she still found it inappropriate that Dylan was living on the property alone with Will. After Steffi finished warning Taylor to shut things down with Deacon, she popped up at Forrester Creations next. Steffi brought up a potential receptionist gig for Dylan there, but she didn't want Electra to mention it to Dylan just yet. At home, Deacon was adamant that leaving Sheila would put Taylor at risk. Hope could see how much Deacon cared about Taylor since he was being so protective of her. Deacon didn't want to risk riling Sheila up, which could end in disaster for Taylor. Even so, Hope felt like Deacon had become a hostage in his relationship and didn't like him living this way. While Hope pushed Deacon to go to Taylor and tell her how he felt, Sheila cornered Deke Sharp at Il Giardino and hoped he'd come around on accepting her marriage to Deacon. The conversation shifted to how incredible Taylor was, so Deke acknowledged that Deacon indeed thought the doc was amazing. When Hope caught up with Deke later, she offered updates on her earlier discussion with Deacon and hoped he was off confessing his true feelings to Taylor. B&B made it seem like Deacon rushed to Taylor's office to share how he wanted her in his life, which led to a passionate makeout session. However, it was just a fantasy, so Deacon was left deep in thought over Taylor while she got all flustered over him in her office alone. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Taylor and Deacon may be on the verge of kissing for real soon enough, so stay tuned. While fans are used to seeing her navigate the glitz, glamour, and occasional backstabbing of the fashion world on The Bold and the Beautiful, her real-life romance has been much more grounded and sincere. The actress hopped onto Instagram to share the joyous news, confirming that she has officially married the love of her life. Who is The Bold and the Beautiful fame? Ashley Brewer's husband. Naturally, everyone wants to know more about the man who captured the heart of the bold and the beautiful veteran. Ashley Brewer is now married to Mark Bach, a talented film producer. While Ashley is a seasoned pro at working in front of the lens on the set of The Bold and the Beautiful, Mark typically spends his professional life steering the ship from behind the scenes. The pair first went Instagram official back in May 2022. They shared a series of breathtaking photos from a getaway to Big Sur, California. Over the last few years, the couple has been inseparable, building a life together far away from the chaotic plotlines often seen on The Bold and the Beautiful. According to People, the couple met through a mutual friend, the famous actress Phoebe Tonkin. Ashley and Phoebe co-starred on the television series H2O, Just Add Water. Mark Bach, a producer and filmmaker, is a public figure recognized for his work on projects like The Two Popes, Into Dust, and Troublemaker. However, despite his public profile, he maintains a private Instagram account. The couple, who have been together since 2022, as far as we know, got engaged in 2024. Ashley announced the news of their engagement in January 2024 on Instagram. "The greatest human I've ever met wants to marry me. We're engaged. I love you beyond measure," at Mark Bach. Further, on January 1st, 2026, the actress also shared a carousel of photos, noting that she is stepping into the new year with her partner. Soon after that, the Bold and the Beautiful actress also shared the news that she got married to Mark Bach. Upon the post's immediate publication, several of her co-stars from The Bold and the Beautiful offered their congratulations. Among those sending well wishes were Kimberlyn Brown, Miss Carla Mosley, and Rebecca Budig. About Ashley Brewer from The Bold and the Beautiful. Ashley Brewer is an Australian actress who was born on December 9, 1990, in Brisbane. She introduced the character of Ivy Forrester on The Bold and the Beautiful in 2014. The character appears on the soap in a recurring capacity. Outside of the daytime soap opera, Ashley has been a part of several notable projects, like Barbie, where she starred alongside Margot Robbie, Neighbours, Home and Away, and many more. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. For January 22, 2026, indicate a day filled with intense confrontations and hidden agendas. People in Los Angeles are stuck between their own wants and needs and the threat of a dangerous woman. The episode's storyline mainly focuses on Electra telling Will how worried she is about Dylan. A huge effort is being made at the same time to keep Sheila from knowing about Deacon and Taylor's relationship. Everyone involved in the secret could be in terrible danger if Sheila finds out about the betrayal. As suspicions rise, characters are scrambling to keep up a front. Hope looks at the situation from a different angle, while Steffi stays scared. The drama unfolds across Forrester Creations and Deacon's apartment, creating a high-stakes environment where one wrong word could trigger a violent outburst from the town's most notorious villain. At the start of The Bold and the Beautiful's episode, there is a lot of talk about how things are changing at Forrester Creations. It's no longer possible for Electra to hide how unhappy she is with her current living and working situation. She chooses to tell Will the truth about Dylan being there. Being honest with each other changes their relationship at a time when they are both under a lot of pressure at work in the fashion house. For a while now, Dylan's presence has been making things hard for Electra. Steffi hired Dylan at first to work with Will and Electra. Dylan moved in with them, which caused problems right away. Finally, Electra lets down her guard and tells Will exactly what worries her. She comes out with doubts that she had been trying to hide to keep the peace. Will pays attention as Electra talks about why she recently told Dylan to calm down. The argument shows how the co-workers are becoming more and more divided. Electra's vulnerability shows how much the situation affects her mental state. This talk is a big part of the most recent news about The Bold and the Beautiful. The secret relationship between Deacon and Taylor gets to a very important point across town. Deacon was very upset when he found out that Sheila had kept Luna's secret from him. He went to Taylor for help with his work, but the relationship quickly turned personal. Even though Taylor tried to keep her distance at first, they finally gave in to their feelings. The most dangerous secret in the city is now their link. Everyone involved knows that Sheila still thinks she and Deacon are together. Sheila is likely to get even with Deacon if she finds out that he is seeing someone else. The story of The Bold and the Beautiful is still driven by the tension between these two characters. In this episode, Sheila Carter is still the main threat. She has a feeling that something is wrong with Deacon and Taylor, but she doesn't know what it is yet. Everyone around her is very nervous because of her intuition. For some reason, Steffi is very scared and tries to keep information from getting to Sheila. Hope turned Steffi down when she asked for help ending the relationship. It makes Hope happy that her dad is leaving Sheila. The secret is harder to keep now that the women don't agree with each other. People in the community are working extra hours to keep Sheila from going off. It's still hard for Deacon to believe that Sheila is not the changed woman he thought she was. When he learned she kept a huge secret about Luna, he lost trust in her. This betrayal is what made him run right into Taylor's arms. He is now telling lies to keep his newfound happiness safe. Taylor is also in an untenable situation because she keeps seeing Deacon. Steffi begged her to drop him as a client, but she didn't listen. Now she has to deal with the fact that she is dating Sheila's rival. This love triangle is a disaster waiting to happen, as the episode makes clear. The January 21st, 2026 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was mostly about Deacon Sharp's inner turmoil, as he realized that his marriage to Sheila Carter was based on fear instead of love. Hope Logan told her dad that she could see that he liked Taylor Hayes and told him to go after his happiness, no matter what the risks were. When Deacon told Taylor that he was leaving Sheila, he was afraid that the famous psycho would hurt her. At the same time, Steffi Forrester put pressure on Taylor to stop taking Deacon as a patient so as not to anger Sheila. There was a close moment between Will and Dylan at the beach house, while Electra and Ivy talked about how their living situation was wrong. At the end of the episode, Deacon and Taylor shared a passionate fantasy, which showed that they both want to live a life together, but can't because of their current situations. At Deacon's apartment, Hope Logan pushed her father to be honest about his heart. She noted that his feelings for Taylor Hayes are obvious to anyone watching. Deacon tried to dismiss the comments by reminding Hope that he is a married man. However, Hope countered that Sheila has consistently let him down. Deacon finally admitted the truth behind his hesitation. He explained that if he were to leave Sheila, Taylor would likely be the target of Sheila's rage. He begged Hope not to repeat this revelation to anyone. Hope became emotional, realizing her father's happiness is essentially being held hostage by his fear of his own wife. Deacon shouted in frustration, asking if he should just end his marriage and risk setting Sheila off. At Taylor's office across town, Steffi Forrester was very worried about her mother's safety. She told Taylor not to do anything that would make Sheila Carter angry. Steffi thinks that Sheila will always be a threat to their family as long as she lives. When Taylor told her this, she told him to stop treating Deacon as a patient for good. Steffi is scared that Deacon will actually leave Sheila for Taylor, which she thinks will be a terrible idea. She thinks that the most dangerous version of Sheila is the one who has been turned down. Taylor heard her daughter's pleas, but she was still not sure how to handle her professional and personal relationship with Deacon Sharp. While she was at Il Giardino in the afternoon, Sheila Carter tried to get accepted into the Sharp family. She snuck up on Deke and told him how much she loves his dad. Sheila told him that she hoped Deke and his sister would eventually agree to the marriage. One person who has been good to her in her relationship with Deacon is Taylor Hayes, she said. Sheila said that Taylor was a wonderful woman, and Deke joked that this was because of his father's influence. Sheila later told Deke that Taylor would always be special to her because she saved the marriage. Sheila was left alone with her thoughts when Deke refused to listen and left the conversation. At Forrester Creations, Ivy told Electra that she was worried about where Dylan and Will were living. Ivy thought it was weird that Dylan and Will were living together. Electra stood up for her boyfriend and said he was a great person. Ivy said that she told Dylan that the way things are now can't last forever. At the beach house, Will and Dylan were having fun together. Dylan did some laundry to help out, and the two of them made fun of Will's cooking. Will talked about his mother leaving Forrester and RJ coming back. Later, Steffi told Electra that Dylan might be able to get a job at the front desk, which would help her move out of Will's place. Hope finally met up with Deke at the restaurant to tell him what was going on with their dad. She said that the situation was very dangerous. Hope insisted that Deacon should follow his heart and go after Taylor, even though it was dangerous. She told Deke that she told their dad to tell Sheila he wants to be free. Hope told Deacon that she wanted him to tell Taylor right away that he loved her. She hoped that her dad was taking action right then to make things better in his life. Deke paid attention, as Hope said that the link between Deacon and Taylor is too strong to ignore, even though Sheila was nearby. The episode's climax had been a set of emotional revelations. Without thinking, Taylor looked at Deacon's file on her computer in her office. Deacon suddenly showed up in her office and told her he liked her. Deacon told her she was the most beautiful woman he knew as they shared a passionate kiss. As soon as the scene came back to reality, it was clear that Deacon was still at home, and the whole thing was just a dream. Taylor was seen in her office at the same time, having the same romantic fantasy about Deacon. It's clear that both characters want each other, but Sheila's threat keeps them apart for now. Eager to know the spoilers and recap for The Bold and the Beautiful for January 21st? The episode opens with Hope telling Deacon that he is in love with Taylor. Deacon reminds her that he is married and that leaving Sheila could put Taylor in danger. Hope points out that Deacon genuinely cares for Taylor, which he agrees with. Hope finds it heartbreaking that he cannot be with the woman he truly loves because of his unstable wife. Deacon also makes it clear that he has no intention of giving Sheila a reason to unleash her maniacal side by leaving her. In Steffi Warns Taylor, Steffi urges her mother to drop Deacon as a patient immediately. She reiterates that as long as Sheila is alive, Taylor's safety will always be at risk if the truth about her connection with Deacon comes out. Steffi also believes there is a real possibility that Deacon could end his marriage with Sheila, a move that could dangerously escalate the situation and put Taylor's life in jeopardy. During Sheila wants the kids to support her marriage, Sheila tries to convince Deke that she truly loves Deacon. She believes there will come a day when both Deke and Hope willingly accept her and stand by her marriage. Sheila praises herself for her improved behavior, but Deke remains uninterested. She also credits Taylor for saving her marriage, a statement that leaves Deke uncomfortable. In Dylan joins Will's dinner plans, Ivy feels sorry for Electra after she has to cancel her plans with Will. Electra assumes Will be eating alone, but instead, Will invites Dylan over. Dylan hesitates to accept the invitation in Electra's absence, but Will insists. He had genuinely hoped Electra would skip the laundry and give an honest review of the dinner he prepared. After the meal, Dylan finishes her laundry and later sneaks into the room where Will is sleeping on the sofa. As part of Dylan joins Will's dinner plans, Ivy and Electra later discuss Dylan's behavior. Ivy finds it inappropriate for Dylan to be alone with Will, while Electra brushes off any concerns, insisting that Will is a good guy. Ivy also points out that Electra has been spending too much time at the beach house. Electra clarifies that she had already made it clear this arrangement could not become a regular thing. In Steffi has a vacancy for Dylan, Dylan gives an honest review of Will's cooking, and their conversation shifts to the drama at Forrester Creations. Will reveals that Katie was not treated fairly and that RJ has returned. He hopes Dylan will eventually get an opportunity to work there as well. Elsewhere, Steffi mentions to Electra that there is an opening at the receptionist desk. However, she asks her not to tell Dylan yet, as the position could be filled quickly. Electra thanks Steffi and hopes Dylan will get the job so she can move out of her boyfriend's place. In Deacon hypothetically confesses his feelings, Hope urges her father to be honest with Sheila and not give up on his love for Taylor. Overwhelmed, Deacon asks for time to think things through. Hope later discusses the situation with Deke. Eventually, Deacon imagines himself entering Taylor's office and confessing his true feelings, telling her that he wants her in his life. The moment leads to a passionate kiss, only for Deacon to realize it was just a dream, and that he is still at home. At the same time, Taylor is shown fantasizing about Deacon in her office, revealing that the feelings are mutual. On The Bold and the Beautiful, January 21st, Steffi and Hope continue to have different views on this situation involving their parents. Steffi wants Taylor to stop seeing Deacon, both personally and professionally. Meanwhile, Hope wants Deacon to leave Sheila for Taylor. This puts everything in a precarious situation. Key takeaways. Taylor believes that she can handle her relationship with Deacon because she's first and foremost a professional. Steffi wants her mom to stop seeing Deacon because of the ramifications. Hope wants Deacon to end his marriage to Sheila. Steffi and Hope could end up in another war. The B&B has been teasing a future war between Steffi and Hope. The two made peace when Liam assumed he was going to die. They all learned that he was tricked into thinking he was dying. Then, Hope's line came back, and Steffi approved Hope and Liam's marriage. But a new battle could be brewing amid the mess involving Taylor, Deacon, and Sheila. On Wednesday's episode, Steffi continued to plead with her mom to stop seeing Deacon at all costs. After all, he's Sheila's husband. She pressured Taylor to drop him as a patient. Meanwhile, Deacon told Hope not to encourage the idea. She tried to encourage her father and his feelings for Taylor. Hope could tell that Deacon is afraid to divorce Sheila. She didn't want him to live in this fear anymore. Hope warned her father about living with a divided heart and urged him to tell Sheila the truth. She then took it one step further by pressuring her father to visit Taylor and confess his feelings for her. Steffi was the first to sound the alarm on Deacon. Yet Hope was thrilled over the idea of their parents possibly ending up together. Steffi wondered if Hope was in a coma when Sheila tried to kill her and Finn. She's aware of the damage that Sheila could do to their family. As for Hope, she's only focused on her father's happiness. She's tired of seeing him walk on eggshells around his wife. Steffi asked Hope to convince her father to leave Taylor alone. But Hope has taken it upon herself to encourage Deacon to be honest with Taylor about his feelings. This alone proves that Hope doesn't care if Taylor ends up in danger. If Sheila causes any harm to Taylor, it'll be Hope's fault in the end. This will also kick off Hope and Steffi's next war. B&B could throw in a twist and have Sheila go after Hope and Deke instead. Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Today on Bold and the Beautiful, Dylan samples Will's chicken. Sheila tries to get through to Deke, and Ivy complains about how inappropriate Will is being. Read the last B&B recap. Sheila's charms didn't work on Deacon, prompting her to ask what's going on between him and Taylor. At home, Deacon fondles his wedding ring, while Hope tells him his feelings for Taylor are real. He reminds her he's committed to Sheila. She reminds him that his wife let him down. They both know that leaving Sheila could make her snap and put Taylor in danger. He admits his wife is not an angel, but that's why he needs to be realistic about this, especially for Taylor's sake. Hope says his happiness is being held hostage. Her dad reminds her he can't just end his marriage. It would set her off. His daughter can see how much he cares about Taylor. Choking up, she tells him he can't live with a divided heart. He needs some time to think about this. Hope urges him to tell Taylor everything. In Taylor's office, Steffi pleads with her mom not to incite a psycho like Sheila. Steffi orders her to drop Deacon as a patient. Her mom says she's a professional and can handle her patients. Her daughter worries he might leave his wife to pursue her. Once Steffi leaves, Taylor thinks of Deacon. Sheila corners Deke at Il Giardino so she can talk about how much she and his dad love each other. He's already heard her side of this. She's hoping he and his sister will come around like Taylor has. Sheila says that the doctor is an incredible woman. Deke is sure his dad thinks so. Once Sheila walks off, Hope fills her brother in on her conversation with their dad. He obviously cares about Taylor, and she hopes he's with her right now. Deacon goes to Taylor's office and tells her he wants her in his future. She wants that too. They start making out. This is a fantasy. Deacon stares at an empty bowl while Taylor sits in her office alone, flustered. At Forrester, Electra tells Ivy she's going to be missing Will's chicken, and he'll be eating alone. Ivy points out Dylan will be there. Electra goes on about what a good person Dylan is and how they want to help her. Ivy thinks that's sweet, but it's inappropriate that Dylan is living with Will. She adds that Electra has been spending an awful lot of time with Will. When Ivy takes off, Steffi shows up and tells Electra how great she is. She adds there is an opening at the reception desk if Dylan is interested. Electra is sure that the job would mean a lot to her. They chat about her plans for the evening, and Electra says she's staying close to Eric's tonight. Steffi says at least Will isn't in Malibu alone. Once Dylan is working, Electra can have EHR boyfriend to herself again. At the beach house, Will asks Dylan to share his chicken since Electra can't make it for dinner. She does his and Electra's laundry to thank them. He asks her to sample his chicken and give an honest opinion. He gets her to try it. She says it's good but not spicy enough. He gets a text from a reporter, quizzing him about his mom jumping ship. He admits to Dylan that it's weird to see his mom go, but it's good for her. They talk about how special working at Forrester is, and she dumps hot sauce on her food. She asks how he and Electra ended up together, and he goes on about how lucky he is. Dylan keeps thanking him for saving her. She thanks him again and he nods. Later, Dylan returns to watch him sleep and snore on the couch. The Bold and the Beautiful Steffi and Finn are in a bit of a lull drama-wise after his daughter Luna finally kicked the bucket. But now that her mother is falling for his stepfather, things might be getting complicated again. Steffi is hell-bent on getting Taylor away from Sheila's husband Deacon, not because he's married or because he's her patient, but because his wife is none other than murderous Sheila. To be fair, that's still a pretty good reason. Sheila's already nearly killed Taylor on more than one occasion, and Finn's not always the type to stand up to the woman who gave birth to him. If Finn stands up for Sheila, sin might be no more, and then, in theory, the couple could split. JMW told Soaps.com, "Would you be game to see Steffi and Finn call it quits and look for romance elsewhere, or even cheat in their marriage? Let us know." The Bold and the Beautiful scoop for Thursday, January 22nd, reveals Electra Forrester will open up to Will Spencer. Also coming up, everyone scrambles to conceal the truth about Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes from Sheila Carter. B&B spoilers tease Electra was all in favor of helping out her friend Dylan when she and Will realized she was living in her car. They even brought her to Forrester Creations, and she'll likely end up working there. However, Ivy Forrester put a thought in her head that she just won't be able to shake. On Wednesday's B&B, Electra's aunt was surprised that she was okay with Dylan living at the beach house, especially when she's not always around. Although she considers Dylan a dear friend, the jewelry designer has warned the art teacher about her boyfriend. On Thursday, she'll caution Will about spending time alone with Dylan. Electra isn't sure she can trust her around him, but is she right to be cautious? Meanwhile, far too many people now know about Deacon and Taylor's attraction to each other, and the more people who are keeping that secret, the better chance there is that Sheila could eventually become privy to it herself. Steffi Forrester will tell Hope Spencer that someone needs to put a stop to their parents' relationship. Of course, Steffi has no idea that Hope just encouraged her father to share his feelings with Taylor. But how soon will it be that someone accidentally spills the beans to Sheila? Stay tuned! Hey B&B fans, are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. Deacon and Taylor struggle to keep their romance secret from Sheila, while Steffi and Hope react differently. Meanwhile, Electra opens up to Will about Dylan, stirring more drama at Forrester Creations. In Bold and the Beautiful's tomorrow's episode, viewers will get to see that Deacon was stunned when he found out Sheila had kept Luna's survival a secret. He had genuinely believed that Sheila had changed, and realizing she had concealed such a major truth left him questioning everything about their relationship. Confused and hurt, Deacon turned to Taylor for support and advice. Their discussions, meant to remain professional, gradually shifted into something personal. Despite Taylor's attempts to create distance, neither could ignore their growing feelings, and they continued to see each other, deepening the emotional stakes. Steffi quickly noticed the closeness between Deacon and Taylor and worried about Sheila finding out. She approached Hope, hoping her sister could help prevent a disaster. Surprisingly, Hope welcomed the relationship, glad to see her father seemingly moving on. This reaction only heightened Steffi's fears, making her increasingly concerned that her family could face serious consequences if the secret were revealed. Steffi even begged Taylor to end Deacon as a client, but Taylor did not comply. Instead, Deacon and Taylor embraced their feelings for each other, showing that passion was overriding caution despite the risks. Meanwhile, Steffi employed a struggling Dylan to assist Electra and Will at Forrester Creations, while Dylan also lived with them. Recently, Electra expressed her worries about Dylan to Will, asking him to step back in their personal and professional interactions. Amid all this, the scramble continued to ensure Sheila remained unaware of Deacon and Taylor's evolving romance, keeping the tension high in Los Angeles.